Welcome to Still Kicking, the show that highlights senior centers around the state of Kentucky and investigates the lives and achievements of the seniors they serve. I'm your host, Jason Smallwood. We're in Garrard County, home of the Garrard County Senior Citizen Center. Come on in for a personal tour and to meet the seniors. Welcome to Garrard County and the Garrard County Senior Citizen Center. When you enter the center, you'll be greeted by one of our friendly staff or volunteers. Stop by at reception or in the lobby for a friendly conversation. At the center, we offer many services which all lead to a more active and healthy senior population. As we move forward, we find a large, multi-purpose room. There's always a hot lunch and lively conversation in this room. This room is used for various things, including music, bingo, cards, and so much more. Go to your left and play some pool in our billiards room, or just stay right where you're at and join a lively card game. Also to the left is our kitchen, where hot meals are served on center days. At the center, we provide transportation to doctor's appointments, pharmacy, the center, and day trips. Out back is a patio for relaxation and to smell the flowers. Garrard County Senior Citizen Center. Come join us. Welcome back to Still Kicking. We're here with Mary Cole, who has spent her life working on farms, showing horses, but the biggest accomplishment in her life has been church and her service to the church. How are you doing today, Mary?
Doing pretty good, I think.
Good. That's all we can ask for, right?
Yeah.
So, are you originally from Kentucky?
Yes.
Was you born and raised here, or did you move into?
In Garrard County.
So-
Over in, I'm closer to Danville than I am Lancaster.
Yeah.
Down on Harrington Lake, we had a farm that started Harrington Lake and went around it about 2.5 miles.
Oh, so it's a pretty good sized farm.
It was a good sized farm, yeah.
Yeah.
And things, so.
And what year was you born in?
33.
1933. All right. So, when you were a kid, what was school like for you? Did you enjoy school?
Well, no, pretty well,
Pretty well.
But my biggest trouble is back when I should have, I didn't study like I should, and things. And then my daddy got me into real college, and when I was just starting high school, and things, and that was great.
Yeah.
But I had to learn a lot.
Well, yeah.
Because I just didn't apply myself as much as I thought I should.
Yeah.
But then for some reason I came back to Camp Dick Robinson out here in 51 to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I never did run around with any of those, even when I was here earlier. And they considered me a little rich girl because you went to Berea.
Mm-hmm.
But to get in Berea, you have to live on a certain route and a certain money and stuff and things. But I graduated from there in 51.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to, Bethel, used to be a Bethel Junior College in Hopkinsville. It's not there anymore. And then I went up from there to University of Kentucky and College of Agriculture. And then that's where I met my husband.
Oh, yeah.
Husband-to-be.
Husband to
In
be.
53, yeah.
Yeah, so you've been in a lot of different educational settings.
Yeah. But I didn't apply myself like I should.
But it sounds like you enjoyed learning. I mean, you found yourself in so many educational settings.
Yeah, I did that.
So did you finish at UK?
No, like 17 hours.
17 hours. You can still go get it, probably.
Yeah, I could, but like 50, well, it's about 17 hours.
Yeah.
And I got married in 57. And but my husband was in husband-to-be was in the Army, so we was in Albuquerque for 10 months.
Oh.
That was a good 10 months. That's correct, because it's wonderful out there. Because I remember out there on around Christmas, I would take the sun baths, and here they had snow on the ground and things, and stuff. But it was just great, I had a good husband, and Earth Troubles, he died in '88, and but he had, when we got out of the Army, he went back to different schools to get his degree in pharmacy, and things. And we were at Memphis quite a while, and that was a good deal.
Yeah.
And things. But he studied all the time. Elvis's first cousin used to cut his hair.
Oh, really?
But he didn't know it, who it was then. He was in there one day, and the barber asked him, he said, "What do you think of Elvis?" He said, "I can take him or leave him." And so he waited a minute, and then he hollered, and Elvis was in the back room. So he come out, and they made friends, and he used to go out and ride horses with him all the time.
Really?
Well, he had a big party coming up, because I hadn't gone out, and I was looking forward to going.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a test the next day, and we had to stay home and study.
He's definitely dedicated to school.
Yeah, he was dedicated to school, getting it all out. And but we used to, before that, anywhere we'd go, we would go play tennis or something, exercise.
Sure.
But down there in Memphis, they didn't have any courts there close, and we didn't get to.
Yeah.
And things. And so he put on some weight and got diabetes. Then after we got back and all, there in '88, the drugstore had closed. His daddy and him had died, and his brother and him didn't get along. And so he ended up being state drug inspector for Eastern Kentucky.
Oh, wow.
And things. But he was home there one week. It wasn't very bad or something, but I was up at the barn training. We still training horses on a Wednesday afternoon at 4, and for some reason I went to the house. I don't know why, but he was in the basement there, and we talked a little bit, and had a beautiful basement with a fireplace and stuff. Then we just sit there and watch TV, and I turned around and looked, and his head was on the back of the couch, and he's turning purple. And so I had to run upstairs to call the ambulance and this, that, and the other. And they took him to the hospital and worked on him 3 hours, but he died. But I couldn't accept that at all, I mean, it'd like to kill me.
Well, yeah.
Because we had a wonderful marriage and things. And then, it was probably 6 months later or more. But I remember before then, I'd have some dreams and he'd be in the background. But I couldn't reach him or anything.
Yeah.
But then it finally dawned on me that it was God's will, because he was having trouble with his feet and stuff, and he didn't want him to suffer. And it wasn't too long after I did that, it sit better. And then one time in a dream, wasn't nothing else around, and he walked up, put his hand on my shoulder, and said, "I'll take care of you." And so I've accepted it, and it's not very good.
No.
And nobody else interests me, but
Yeah.
had a good life to live in anyway.
Good.
And things, so.
If you think back to your childhood, what's the earliest thing you remember? What's your earliest memory?
I don't know, I just guess running around the farm, because we just had an old house, didn't have much money, and running around too. And then I got a picture too. We worked horses then, we didn't have as many tractors. And I remember I had a picture of me sitting on top of one with all the harness on it. And the only way I could get up there was climb up his leg with his harness and get on it, And but I was always out on the farm with, we raised sheep and stuff, and taking care of them.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. I was a tomboy.
Yeah. Well, when you're raised on the farm and you have to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I did, A lot of girls may have stayed in, but I was out on the farm. So.
Yeah.
But my daddy, he was one of the top farmers in the county.
Yeah.
And stuff, so. But I don't know why he did it, but I guess because he got enough money, he built the house where I'm at now.
Yeah.
In 51, that's when I graduated from high school. And I'd be going to college, he knew that.
Yeah.
But he built it, and it's a big one. It's one of the bigger ones in Garrard County, and it's Bedford Stone. And they didn't have many Bedford Stones down here then. But he built a huge one, so.
Yeah.
But then after my husband died, he did wait for a year. And he died in November '88, and then January of '89, he came and asked if I'd come out to where I'm at now and take care of my mother and daddy, so I did.
Yeah.
And so I went there.
Okay. So as we get older, we can look back and we've learned certain lessons in life.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned?
I guess just to do the best I can,
Yeah.
My biggest trouble is I can't get up in front of people and talk
Yeah.
and things, If there was a whole bunch of people in here, I wouldn't be talking this way now, and things, and then just do the best you can on anything that you try.
All right. I think that's a good piece of advice. If you
Yeah.
don't try, you can't succeed.
Yeah.
If you try, you may fail, but at least you tried.
At least you
right?
tried, yeah.
Exactly. So in your lifetime, what would you say is one of your happiest moments?
My marriage, I guess.
Marriage?
Because it was great.
So wedding day?
Huh?
Did you have a big wedding or?
No, I had just a small wedding. We got red tickle when we were over at UK together before we went to Army and all that stuff. We played ping pong all the time, and I beat him all the time. And so we got married out here at the Fork Church. That's where I've been going all my life. And then we went down to Cumberland Falls that night. And we hadn't been there about a couple of hours till we was downstairs playing ping pong. But he got better. He could beat me some then, and I hadn't, and things. But then the next day, next night, we come back, and his mother had a reception for us at her house here in town. And all the town came for it,
Oh, that's nice.
So-
So your honeymoon was playing ping pong.
Yeah, one night. But then we went to Albuquerque for 10 months.
Yeah.
He was in the Army there at Albuquerque.
Yeah, so you lived on the military base?
We lived in town.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's nice.
And he worked at the hospital there, and he had different things at the hospital. Learned so much.
Yeah.
I'd always threaten him because he delivered babies that if we had any, I'd let him deliver them. But,
He probably couldn't handle it.
no, he said no because he come in at night when I was getting ready to go to the hospital, and he had to run across another street to get the car and things, but he wasn't going to deliver it. But he could, if he had to.
Well, there's a big difference in somebody
yeah.
else's and yours.
Yeah.
It's a huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
So as we said before, you was raised on a farm, pretty much always been a farmer, and had a lot of horses and showed horses.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about working on a farm?
Well, I guess just, preparing it and seeing everything grow.
Yeah.
And then cattle, my daddy raised Angus cattle, and then he sold it on the hook and things. We ate good, that's for sure.
Well, yeah.
And because I showed some of the cattle, and we won prizes
Yeah.
and things, and having all of that. And you're just out in the open,
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about traffic and all that stuff, and
Yeah. A
things.
little more laid back.
Yeah.
So you showed horses.
Didn't do that till after I got married.
Yeah.
And my husband hadn't done it. He learned to do on the farm because I was the only child.
Yeah.
And then I just had one son, but he hadn't come out to the farm yet. And so he got out there and learned to do it.
Yeah.
And he knew I liked horses so well, so we ended up buying some and started showing.
So how old was you when you won your first horse show?
Oh, I don't know. I was in my 20s, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably late 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
So was that a big deal for you?
Yeah, it was. We got a tickle. I said, on there, about the first show. The first show we went to was up in West Liberty, and that's where the Coles come from. There used to be a coal hotel and stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a little fair, so we went to that one. And what I could see, I figured I was going to do okay. But I got in there, the queen of the show won the show. But I got some others. I won the trophies there. I started with walking horses, but I prefer gated horses.
Yeah.
5 gated, you can shift gears 5 times, you know. So.
It's so you won some trophies with your horses.
Yeah, a whole bunch.
Here's one. Hold it up.
Yeah, that's the Mercer County. That's a walking horse.
Walking horse.
Yeah.
So that was in.
That was in
1978.
Yeah, 78.
1978.
Yeah.
Was this you had won others before this one, or was this your first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, we got married in '57. Was out there for '58. I was up into it, but if you win Mercer County, you're doing pretty good, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then you've got this one, 1970.
I don't even know what this one was for. I just got it. They said, to bring something.
Yeah.
I can't even read what it
So this is 1975.
75 at Garrard County. But being that big, I'd probably say it's gated horses.
Yeah.
Because I had a real good walking horse today, a black one. And, but then we finished showing him that year, and you had supposed to dog walk him all winter. And I didn't want to do that. And I was talking to my blacksmith, and he said, well, make a rocking horse out of him. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to sit down so much, and stuff.
Yeah. So what was the best horse you ever had?
I guess it's one called Destiny. He was sort of a medium color chestnut, sort of a bright color with light mane and tail.
Yeah.
And he's 5 gated, and he could get it done.
Yeah. So did you win quite a bit with that horse?
Yeah, I won quite a bit with him, and stuff. So we had a pretty good record being little people.
Yeah.
Being little people. So.
Well, good. And so now you spend a good deal of time with your service to church and.
Yeah, I've got too old. I can't do all that stuff now.
Well, what is your role in church now? Is it just as a member, or are you still?
I'm just a member, but I'm getting more into. We got Bible schools coming up. I'm going to help with that.
Yeah.
And then we have children's church, they call it. Mm-hmm. Right before the preacher starts preaching, they go away and take the little kids, and so I'm going to get into that too. Try to get out more.
Yeah.
I think I'm about the oldest member out there. It's the Fort Church out on North 27, and it's the 3rd oldest Baptist church west of the Alleghenies.
Really?
And but they lost their heritage because they built on it so much,
Yeah.
And the road was going to take it. I said, oh no. But the graveyard saved it, so they're going to go in behind it.
Yeah.
And things.
Yeah.
But it's got a real big children's church and things. Good. During school time, I don't know what they're doing right now, but they take buses. They've got about 4 buses. And they go around to middle school and high school and pick the kids up and take them out to church and have a lesson. And then feed them, and then they'd have another lesson, and then they'd take them back to their homes.
Well, that's really good.
And I imagine there's way over 100 kids out there now.
Yeah.
Of that age and stuff.
Well, it sounds like it's definitely a big deal and something.
Yeah, it is. It's
that needs a
real
lot of
big
help
for the people, young people,
So you obviously enjoy helping others and jumping in when you can.
I try to. I'm getting so old, I have to help myself.
Well, you have to help yourself in order to help others. But it still sounds like you're eager and ready to go.
I try to, I have to get, we got a man, he comes and picks me up, takes me to church all the time and things.
Well, thank you, Mary, for coming in and talking to us. It's been a pleasure.
Well, I'm glad it did.
We'll be right back with Terry Davis, who's worked in a hospital, daycare, drove a bus, worked at the senior center for a number of years through a CSEP program. I'm told she's a wonderful singer, but one of her most important things is every year she conducts a peace walk honoring Martin Luther King. Stay tuned to see what Terry has to say. Welcome back to Still Kicking. We're here with Terry Davis, who's worked in a hospital, daycare, worked as a bus driver, has worked many years with the Senior Center through our CSEP program. I'm told is a wonderful singer, and she has conducted a peace walk for many years honoring Martin Luther King. Welcome, and very good to have you here with us today.
It's good to be here. So glad they asked me to be here.
Yeah. So are you from Garrard County originally?
Yes, I am.
So born and raised?
Born and raised here.
All right. Did you ever go anywhere else? Did you always?
No, I've always been right here in Lancaster, yeah.
Yeah. And what year was you born in?
1957.
1957. Okay, so you got to go through the 60s and
Yeah,
the 70s
yeah.
and with the bell bottoms.
Yeah, Pizarro pants, the whole 9 yards.
So in your younger years, you got to go through all the terrible fashions of the 70s
Yeah.
and the 80s and all that good stuff.
Yeah, did, honey. Wild hairstyles and everything.
So if you could go back in time and tell your parents one thing that you may have never got to tell them, what do you think you would tell them?
That I'm thankful that they brought me up the way they did. Their standards in life, and it's rolled on to me and my sisters, and just thankful to have them in my life. You know, I always told them I was thankful, but just to see that they could see what we was going to be like, you know, in time as growing up. And, you know, as a child, you think, why are they telling you this? Why are they telling you that? You know, but I'm very grateful to them for the type of standards that they put before us and they wanted us to have. Because I see myself now doing my nieces and nephews the very same way. The very same way.
Yeah. It's often the case, growing up, you'll argue day and night with your parents, don't want to do what they're saying. But when you get older, you do exactly the same thing.
You do the same thing.
Because it makes sense.
You see yourself all over, see them all over again. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. But you do.
Yeah. So I imagine you never got in trouble growing up at all.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Tell us a time when you got in big trouble.
Well, I called my sister and we was talking about different things that happened in our lifetime. She said, do you remember when you cut our hair? They had pigtails on their hair about this long. My mother used to braid it. And so as a child, we was playing barbershop. So I cut their hair, both of them. And then I took the braid and stuffed it back up under the hair that was there. So when she started to take it down, the whole plait fell out in her hand. And she was screaming, oh, what's wrong with my children? Oh my God, something's wrong. So I'm in there just innocent looking. Then my sister said, we played barbershop and she cut our hair. And that was the thing that I remember most of all. And so funny because as I grew up, for 18 years, we was hairdressers. We had our own beauty shop. So I started out young.
Yeah. You learned your mistakes early.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, it sounds like you knew you messed up.
Yeah, I knew I messed
so you're
up.
trying to weave it back in there.
Yeah, well, I invented the weave before the weave was even invented. So, you know.
Well, most inventions are, they're born out of necessity.
That's right. That's right.
You had definitely, it was necessary.
To get it back in there.
So in your, as we grow older, we encounter difficult things in our lives. Mm-hmm. What would you say is one of the most difficult times that you went through, and how did you deal with that?
The death of my grandmother, who passed first, and then, my mother and father. But through the help of God and good friends and a lot of prayer, we made it through, because they prepared us for it. Mm. You're never prepared for death, but they prepared us for it, and they showed us what to do in case of, trust in God, and then God will just lead you through it, and and that's just heals that heart. You never forget them, but you make it through.
Good. So if you could go back in time and do a do-over, change something, maybe change a course in your life besides cutting your sister's hair, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What do you think you would go back and do differently?
I would pay more attention to what, like saving and getting into church a little earlier than I did, because coming up, my mother was a great advocate in church, and she would always sing, and she always made us sing, and so by that we thought we have to sing again. We have to go to church. But we had to. You was in that house. You had to go to church. And then coming up, after you get a little older, you try to go your way. But then if you was brought up in it, you always go back to it.
Yeah, it's what's comfortable.
You always go back to it. And so I just wish that I had started doing work in the church and with other people, showing them the way.
Yeah.
Earlier, and saving money. That is the number one thing, because, by us having our own beauty shop, my father got it for us. And, we thought he was the one that was supposed to be, taking care of everything. So the money and stuff we made in the beauty shop, we thought, well, we was going to spend it. But I wish we had took heed and,
Yeah, nest egg.
Yeah. Just because we were spoiled. Really, we were. So, but I thank God for them. Thank God for them.
Well, being spoiled or not, it sounds like you spent the majority of your life helping other people.
Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, you've worked as driving a bus, you've worked in a hospital, worked in daycare. Tell us a little bit about those jobs and what you did in those roles.
When I worked in the daycare, which my mother worked there first as a bus driver. Then when she retired, I went into driving the bus. And then after that, we got into being a teacher's aide. So that's the next thing I did. And then I worked for Bluegrass driving a bus. Then after that, and we would always come to the senior citizens when we were young and sing or do something with the seniors. But it's always been about making somebody happy, making the kids happy, because I would act so silly on the bus.
Yeah.
And even up to here, just making them happy, because I always said that when I became 60, which I am now, and thank God for it, that I want somebody to treat me with the respect that, that I thought I should have, because I am a senior. And then I always wanted them to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I always wanted them to feel comfortable. I never want them to think they was a burden because of their age. They was a burden because they couldn't hear or they couldn't, understand what you were saying. Take time to be with them. Take time to help them. And that's just what I've always done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think it's important for kids, especially kids these days, to be exposed to seniors, to learn those values and the way of life that before all the technology and all this distraction come about. So you worked in a hospital too. What did you do in the hospital?
Nurse's aide.
Nurse's
worked
aide.
at UK hospital for, I think it was about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then that's when we left there and went on to beauty school and opened up the beauty shop. So we've been I have done a lot of different things, but it's all has to do with dealing with people. And that, just make them happy. That we had a lot of times when we was in our shop that there were people that didn't have the money to get their hair done. And, come on, we'll do it for you, and just making them happy, making them beautiful.
When you do something like that for somebody, when they can't afford it, they're going to come back to you and they're going to, pay it forward.
Yeah.
Because everybody gets in a bad way at some point in time, so it's always good that there's somebody out there that cares enough to help.
Yeah.
So earlier you was talking about your mom taking you to church and forcing you to sing.
Oh, yeah,
So
she would force me to sing then, but now I sing it. I do it because I want to do it. I love to do it. Now, don't have the best voice in the world. My mother was the top of singing. She was wonderful, and we were always background singers. And because I had that real low voice, I was always afraid to come out and sing. But now I don't care if it doesn't sound right to anybody else. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for God. And then it makes the people happy when you get into it. When you sing, they see that you're enjoying it, they enjoy it. And their favorite song here is Hello. It's a song that my mother wrote. I hated the song with a passion when we was coming up. But I find myself every time we go somewhere, I sing it. Now, because this is like a happy song.
You care to sing a little bit for us?
I'll give you a little bit of it. Just a little bit. It starts off with Hello, hello, glad to see you here. Hello, hello, let's thank God for another year. Hello, hello, it's so good to be alive. Let me tell you, my friends, the Lord is bringing me through. And it's a little bit more to it, but it's kind of a long song. But the clients, when you go somewhere to sing, they'll say, sing hello. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
But she wrote that for us, like when we would go to programs to sing. That's what she would open with. Didn't like it at all, but I love it now. Absolutely love it. So.
Well, yeah, it's like traditions that you're forced to do growing up you don't like, but then it's a tradition. You know, it's what you always go back to.
Yeah.
And you, for a number of years, you organized a peace walk.
Yes, that originated from back. Our elders would do it, and there was a committee that had. It was called. First it started as the Dr. Martin Luther King walk, but my mother and a few other ladies, they changed it to the Peace Walk Committee because that's what it was all about. It was Peace Walk. And so that's what they changed it to. And we do that to let our young people know what Dr. King stood for, that you don't have to handle everything in violence. It has to be about peace and love. And we have a program every year, and we have different groups to come in and sing, or somebody to come in and to make a speech. This year, what we did, they had a lady that's 92 years old. She was one of our remaining Peace Walk Committee officials. And what we did, we had an appreciation for her. She loved it. I mean, she just couldn't believe we did it. So I thought, you had to pray about it. And I'm like, Lord, what can we do this year? And one night, it just popped to me, Sister Mary, we'll have something for her. That's what we did, and the community came together. Her church in Danville came, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. So we honored her for the day, for Black History Month, and the Peace Walk Committee. That she was part of that, for Dr. King. Yeah. But it's just like I said, to get our young people and the community to know what it's all about. It's all about love. It's all about peace, and it's what we don't have enough of, And like I tell them when you come here, give these clients a smile. Some of them don't see a smile all day long. Say hello to them. Tell them how nice they look. Because some of them never hear it.
Yeah.
Because they're by themselves. And so, you have to put yourself out of the way and put them first. So that's just the way I think.
Well, that's a very good way to think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I think about it. So I'm very blessed, very blessed. So,
well, it sounds like God definitely led you here. It sounds like you make a major difference every day by being here for the people. Again, you may have been spoiled being grown up, but you wouldn't know it to talk to you. I mean, because it seems like you put everybody else first and their feelings first, and are always willing to back anybody up and put yourself out there. So definitely commendable traits.
Yes, brought up like that. Like I said, brought up like that. You brought up with respect. Mm-hmm. That's the very first thing, that respect. And if you have respect for other people and for what they need and what they want, it goes a long way. Respect for your elders, respect for you see so many people doing things in front of their little kids and stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Yeah. They see you do it. And so many people, they say, when the kids see you doing things, and you take them to church, you take them here and there, they're going to watch what you do at home and pay more attention to what you do at home than they do at church. Yeah. Because they're with you all the time. So the best thing for you to do, have respect for people. That's my biggest thing. So.
Well, thank you, Terry, for coming in and talking to us. You're definitely an inspiration to everybody here. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're doing something right.
Well, I thank you for allowing me to come in here and talk to you about a few of the good things and the bad things that I have done in my lifetime.
We'll be right back with Theda Saylor, who ran a home for disabled veterans for many years, loves to shop, loves to cook, loves to visit people, but most importantly, she was the queen of the Senior Center prom last year. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Still Kicking. We're here with Theda Saylor, who ran a home for disabled veterans for a number of years, loved shopping, cooking, and was selected as the prom queen for the Senior Center last year.
Right.
How are you doing today?
Very good.
Good, good. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Definitely good to meet you. Are you from Garrard County originally, or you moved
No,
in?
I'm from Harlan County, Kentucky.
Harlan County. But you've always been a Kentucky girl?
I've been well, we lived in Chicago 25 years.
Oh, wow. Was you born in Kentucky and then moved to Chicago?
Yes, after I got married.
But that's a little bit of a shock, isn't it?
It was a lot different.
I can imagine.
A young girl going to the city.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's the snow difference and weather
Everything
difference.
was different.
Yeah. So, lived there 25 years, then what got you back to Kentucky?
The kids grew up,
Okay,
so we came back home so they would have a more countrified place to live.
yeah, sure. And what year was you born in?
1941.
1941. All right. So, being a senior and having a few years under your belt, you kind of know a little bit about what life is about.
And pretty much.
What would you say is a good life?
Well, it's according to which time you're in.
Yeah. Well, for you, what's your definition of a good life?
Well, I'm living it right now. I have the kids all grown and, nothing really drastic to worry about. Everybody's healthy and I come to the seniors 3 days a week.
Yeah.
That helps me out a big lot. Because you don't get depressed and everything when you got things to do.
Sure.
So
a good life for you is having kind of accomplished your big goals and getting to relax.
right, I got the kids grown, the grandkids are grown, the great-grandkids just drop in once in a while.
Well, I think after X amount of generations, your responsibility should go down a little bit.
I like, yes.
If you could solve one world problem that exists today, what would you want to solve?
Peace on earth.
Peace on, so like just everything.
Everything. I would like, everybody to get along and no kind of discord anywhere in the world.
Yeah, which would be good because there's discord everywhere. It seems like these days with new stuff popping up every day.
Even from county to county.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would do. Just let everybody lay back and be peaceful.
Sounds good. Sounds like a world that definitely would be worth living in. You've had different chapters in your life, so having your place in the world and having your place in life changes as you go along. Right now, where would you say is your place in life? Where do you fit in the world?
Well, I try to be friends with everybody. I help everybody I can, and if there's anybody that needs help or cheering up, they always call me.
So your place now is really the helper, which really has been your entire life.
Really.
So I guess your place in life, even though there's been different ups and downs and chapters, your place in life has always been the helper.
Been the helper. Just take care of things as life brings it for you.
Yeah. And I understand in that helping respect, you ran a home for disabled veterans for 37 years.
37 years.
So how did you get into that kind of business?
Well, really, my dad passed away at an early age from drinking and pills, and stuff. And I thought, well, when I heard about the VA project, I thought, well, if Dad would have been in a home like that, possibly we could have, somebody could have had more control. So I just applied and got accepted and took veterans. At one time I had 4, and then they down to 3, and I kept 3 veterans for 37 years, took care of them.
So was
Some
that
of them
in your-
went home,
Was that in your home?
in my home,
Oh, wow.
and some of them got well enough they could go home,
Yeah.
And that was a happy day, was when the veterans, I helped them get well enough and understand life enough they could go home.
Yeah. So was that after you moved back to Kentucky that you
Yeah,
started doing
right.
that?
Yes.
Okay.
After we came back to Kentucky, that's what I did, was got in that, and I've had some good patients and some that was a little difficult.
Yeah.
But
What would you say is the most rewarding patient that you had?
well,
Sometimes that might be the most difficult one that made the biggest,
yeah. Well, Daryl, I had one named Daryl, and he was there for the 37 year the whole time, and he was very complicated. He was very complicated. At the house, he would just do what he wanted to. But if, like, we went to Louisville, he could tell me every street, every place.
Yeah.
He knew how to get around and all that, but he just wasn't capable of being on his own.
Yeah. So he was the most rewarding because he was one of the most challenging.
Yes, most challenging, and they're longer than any of them.
Yeah. So I understand you was the nominated or selected as prom queen for the senior prom last year.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Well, it was very nice. I enjoyed it, enjoyed it. And it made me feel good that they thought enough of me to elect me, to even think about electing me, because a lot of them's been here a lot longer than I have, and I'm sure they deserved it, to be queen too, but my personality got it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Because you can have the meanest person, they might have been there for 40 years, but it's what you bring to the table.
That's right.
It sounds like you bring a lot to the table, so people, enjoy your company. It's always good to be recognized, especially when you put your life into helping other people, which is typically a thankless job.
That's right.
So it's great when people actually do put that little bit out there for you. So I understand that you like some of your passions is cooking and shopping. What do you like to cook?
Well, I like good sweet stuff.
Oh, so you're a baker.
I like to bake, and I cook, a lot of stuff, and give it to different people that need it.
Yeah.
People at church that are not able to really cook for themselves, and the kids that, if there's enough left over, I take care, give them some, and I cook about every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bake banana bread and things and bring to the center for them to snack on and
So
stuff.
is banana bread your?
That's just what I bring down
That's your
here.
big thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I bring down here. So, but that's because it's the easiest put out.
Yeah.
If I gave them cake with icing, it'd make
mess,
some of
yeah.
them make a mess. So, I usually just do banana nut bread and bring it down for them.
Yeah. And what do you like shopping? So, what's your shopping addiction? What do you like to shop?
Clothes and cookware.
Clothes and cookware.
Oh, I love different things to cook in and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got lots of good cooking stuff.
Yeah. So if you go into like a kitchen shop, you're there for a while.
I'm there for a while, and I always walk out with something.
Yeah.
Like right now, they've got this air fryer oven out. I want to get a hold of that. I've got the air fryer, but I'd like to get a hold of the oven, see what I can do with it.
So how does an air fryer work?
Well, deep fryer, you have to use grease,
Yeah.
and lard. With the air fryer, you don't use that much of any kind of seasoning and stuff. Just put it in there and turn it on and let it blow it dry. Cook it.
Yeah.
Just cook it. It does.
Well, thank you, Theda, for coming in. It was a pleasure to get to meet you and to meet somebody that is dedicated almost 4 decades to serving people that otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity or wouldn't have a place. It's always inspiring to meet someone that can give themselves the way you've given yourself to others. And you continue to give to the seniors out here, and well enough that they want you to be their queen.
Ain't it?
But thank you again so much for coming in and talking to us.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back after these messages. Well, that wraps up our show for Garrard County. We hope you've had a good time, learned a few things, and had a few laughs along the way. Join us next time as we venture into Fayette County to investigate their senior center and to meet their seniors. Until then, this has been Still Kicking.